author said, your mind must always work with your heart to achieve happiness with everything you do. Sean, welcome to Philippines.
My pleasure. It's great to be here.
Where we're looking forward to hear your story. Can you please share us your childhood?
I was born very much into a military family. So my life was moving, lifting, shifting right through school. I'd go to school, I would meet people, become friends, and then be moved to another place as my father changed to another ship. So,
coming from a military family, are your parents strict?
My mother was. My father spent a lot of time at sea. She had 4 boys to bring up, and my father was at sea, so she had to bring them up on her own. She had to be strict.
So who really inspired you when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I think I was probably most inspired by my grandfather.
Okay.
He had a very, very difficult life. So he grew up in orphanages and didn't meet his father until he was 21.
So what's the message that you really remember from your grandparents?
Understand what you want out of life and never be afraid to go and get it. But it has to include hard work, because nothing will come to you without it. From a very early age, I dreamed of being in the Royal Navy. I couldn't think of anything else. Mm-hmm. Dreamed of going into the medical world. It was just always going to be. I worked for free for 3 months just to prove myself and to prove that I could do it, and I had no basis.
How important is education to you?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because I left school at the age of 16, and I've got to be honest, I probably wasn't the best student. If I was to go back and speak to my old teachers, they probably agree with me. I probably wasn't the best student, but education is everything. I think today it's different. If I think about today, it's so much harder for young people today to just get up and do what they want to do and what they think and they know they can do without first having to prove themselves.
So what's your best advice to the millennials right now then?
Each of my kids, I have four children, and each of them in time have sort of come to me, and I remember having a conversation with my eldest son, and he was saying, I don't really know what I want to do. You have to answer one question. Do you want to work with your head, your hands, or your heart? When you know the difference to that, when you know what that means to you, then you'll know what you want to do. Once you know that, then go for it, and don't let anything get in your way. And I've said that to each of them in time. If you think that your biggest asset is how you think and how you can apply your brain, then you want to work with your head. Perhaps you want to be an accountant or a lawyer or a manager or something, or in some business. Or if you want to work with your hands, then you want to be in trades, you want to build things. Knowing that, most important in making your decision.
That's interesting, huh?
It's interesting to watch your children make those discussions, make those leaps. I'm incredibly proud of every single one of them for what they've done.
Mm-hmm. So what's your meaning about don't give up?
Nothing worthwhile is handed to you on a plate. I guess what I mean by that is nothing comes to you easily. Mm-hmm. If it's important enough to you, then you've got to be prepared to work at it. People saying, no, you can't do that. You're going to get a lot of barriers put in your way. But if you really want it, they're just barriers. Get over them, go around them, go through them, it doesn't matter. If it's important enough to you, then go for it.
So what was the biggest challenge you encountered in life?
That's a difficult one. Children. You try and steer them in the right direction, but there are times you've got to say, you make your own decision here, I'll support you and I'll help you. It's a big challenge, watching them grow, allowing them freedom to grow.
So what's the best opportunity or best relationship between Australia and Philippines?
From a business perspective, the Philippines offer to the world, but primarily to Australia, is a great culture, wonderful people that really want to work and work hard. Seeing what Filipinos bring to business, they often strengthen business, not weaken it, and that's a very, very good asset for them. I love it. I would love to see it become one of those top destinations in the world.
So what do you think is lacking in our part to really showcase the tourism or talents of Philippines to do better?
Lacking. I don't know that I'd use the word lacking. The Philippines has so many natural resources. It's just going to take, and what I would hope is that it doesn't just become, another Disneyland. I think it would be good to build resorts and to build reasons to showcase the natural resources that you have here. So I don't know that you're lacking. I just think it's going to take some investment, some hard work, and a couple of entrepreneurs to see it and make it come alive.
So how can we invite these investors and entrepreneurs to come and really invest in Philippines?
Your government's doing a lot to explore fun in the Philippines. I see that from the moment I land.
Okay. Do you believe in that?
Oh, of course I do. I come here to dive. It's a wonderful place. Like any place in the world, there are challenges here. On the whole, I've always felt it a very safe and accommodating place. I've never, ever had a reason to doubt that.
So what's the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me some sort of question.
Yeah, because something you did never dream, right? But sometimes, yeah, that's right.
So what's my legacy? It's them. It's whatever they achieve. It's how they grow, how they build their families, how they bring their kids up. I have 3 absolutely beautiful grandchildren, and watching them, and they're in England, so watching them from afar, they're wonderful parents, and that's a wonderful thing to see. But I wouldn't go as far as to say I have a legacy, or it's about my family.
Oh, you're so sweet. Very good advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their stories, because if they did it, you can also be called self-made.